Well, hello everyone. It's Kelly. Sorry, I've been gone for a while. Just life issues, just getting in the way, and life being busy. Work and just a lot of work. A lot of work around the house with summer. Getting prepared for that, and then my job. And I actually am in a relationship now. So we'll talk about that today, along with a few other things. So, yeah, like I said, it's been a while. Gosh, I want to say it's probably been a month since I posted, and I do apologize. Yeah, things are going pretty good. Getting ready for potentially some more surgery. I had a knee replacement last September, and it looks like I have an impinged popliteal tendon. So they're doing an ultrasound, and then looks like they'll be doing some more surgery. Other than that, no, things are going great. Yeah, so I met someone through one of the groups in Facebook. She's trans. She's also a veteran. Yeah, she's right around my age, which is good. And we just, we hit it off really good right from the beginning. She has like this amazing heart for people, and she's just pure empathy and compassion, and that really drew me to her. Her name's Christy. She, yeah, it's kind of funny because it just, I'm practicing a spiritual following. And one of the things that kind of the foundation of the spirituality is, not doing harm to others, being good to others, it's kind of typical throughout all, but it's funny because she really emulates this more than a lot of people. She emulates it more than some people at the temple that I go to, which is pretty amazing. Considering she's had a pretty rough life, combat veteran, and just, been through a lot, like we all have. But she's got this amazing heart for people, and it's what drew me to her initially, and things are going phenomenal. We are talking future. Yeah, it's really good. She's amazing. So, other than that, mental health. Mental health lately has been really good, mainly because of that. Um, it's summer too, kind of, is always a better time, but, I'm always on guard because you never know. You never know what's going to trip you up, what's going to happen to bring back, some of that trauma. Living with PTSD, that's a huge one. I deal with that occasionally. I get it's better right now, but I do get night terrors and nightmares that cause me to wake, and make it so it's hard to sleep. And I've been through therapy for it, but it's something that I guess I'll have to deal with for the rest of my life. But knowing how to handle it and manage it has been huge. And that's where I don't try to do things on your own. Get help. There's so many tools out there. There's so many different therapies that can be done depending on what's best for you, what works for you. Doing it on your own, it doesn't work. It's funny because at one point, I was going to become a therapist, and my whole idea was, well, then I can cure myself, which is actually pretty comical because pretty much every therapist has the therapist because they know they can't fix themselves. But in my messed up state of mind, I thought, oh, well, I can do that. I can fix myself. Yeah, no. Doesn't work. So there are, there's triggers you got to be careful of, and things, that can be slippery slopes, and I'm really careful of those because I do value having good mental health. Um, it's something that when I was younger, well, not even that much younger, but mental health was kind of like a secondary to my physical health, and the one thing I have learned, especially in the past couple of years, is that unless you are mentally healthy, the rest of your body will never be healthy. Physical health comes from emotional health. If you're stressed, if you're, constantly dealing with mental health issues, you're probably overeating or you're not eating enough. And you've probably got some underlying eating disorder issues too. So mental health is critical to physical health. And that's the one thing that I really have learned, and I've taken that seriously, and I really do guard my mental health. Um, because it's good, but it's still fragile. And it always will be as long as I have these issues, which will be a lifetime. So I've got to be on guard, and if you deal with it too, you need to be on guard because there are things that become slippery slopes for you. Things that initially up front seem like, oh, okay, well, I can handle this, but once you get into it, it becomes too much, and then you can't handle it anymore. So just be cautious. Again, I am not a therapist. I'm not licensed. I'm just kind of giving you stories of what I've done and what helped me. But don't rely on me. You definitely need to get professional help. Yeah. Other than that, it's been really good. Uh, so Christy lives in New York, in upstate New York. I live in Ohio, so there's a bit of a commute, but it's okay because who doesn't like to go up to upstate New York? I mean, it's you know the Adirondack Mountains. Gosh, as compared to Ohio, yeah, I don't mind that at all. It's really not that bad. It's about 7.5 hour drive, so it's doable. Um, at least short term. But yeah, it's been amazing because I was kind of at the point where I thought I was pretty much going to spend the rest of my life alone. Being trans, being a trans lesbian, it's hard because cis lesbians really have an issue with the trans community. I'm not sure why. Um, and cis heterosexual or bisexual women, I kind of get the impression they don't really see us as real women. Um, it depends. Obviously Caucasian or is probably has the biggest issue with transgenderism. There's definitely cultures that you know they accept it fully, but definitely being Caucasian. And if you want to date within the Caucasian race as a trans lesbian, it's hard. It is really hard. Fortunately, Christy came along. Like I said, it was just dumb luck that we found each other. She had mentioned where she was from at the time, and prior to moving, and I was like, oh, hey, I'm right next door. And we started talking, and we hit it off immediately, and it's just been phenomenal ever since. And it's good because it kind of completes everything. Now that I've transitioned, that was kind of the one area of my life that I was really concerned that transition that loop would not close in that transition. Um, because I mean, it's yeah, there's good parts about being single, but being in a relationship with somebody is amazing. It really is. and having somebody to talk to, somebody to lean on, somebody who you can support, um, somebody who you share values with, somebody who you can encourage to do the things that they want to do. It makes a difference, and it especially with the mental health again. Because the mental health part is so important. And being in a very positive relationship, a very loving, very caring relationship has a profound effect on the mental health. Because now it's I'm a little less likely to start beating up on myself because I know she'll say something. So the negative self-talk kind of goes away a little bit. And you just physically feel better, which emotionally makes you feel better too. So it's it really is kind of that closing of the loop in my transition. Now I think everything. Well, I mean, there's some surgeries I'd like, but I think that everything now is complete. My transition is complete. I am fully Kelly, fully acceptable as Kelly, loved as Kelly, and not just as a friend love, but a romantic love, which kind of closes that loop for me. So yeah, it's been good. Just wanted to touch bases again. I know it's been a while, and again, if you guys any questions, any comments, any concerns, if there's anything you'd like me to talk about, please let me know. Just pop me a message, and we'll dig into whatever it is that you have. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm working. I don't get a break over the summer, so I work all year round. But I shouldn't complain. I work a whopping 20 hours a month. Um, but kind of makes it difficult with the commute to New York to visit her, and for her to come here too with me working. It's let's just say I'm on my last leg of employment. Um, I think this is going to be my last year teaching, and then I'm going to go completely retire. So, all right, guys. You guys take care. Again, I love you. Reach out if you need any help. If you need anything, reach out. Let me know if there's something you want me to talk about. Be good to yourselves. Learn to love yourselves. I know it's hard. Um, Start liking yourself. That's where I had to begin. And then, you'll grow on yourself. Just be true to yourself, and don't let others force you to change who you are. Be who you are. It's in this crazy world we live in, especially right now. It's so important that the LGBT community goes out and represents themselves. It's going to send a message that we can't be intimidated, we can't be stopped, we are here to stay, and you're going to recognize us. Unfortunately, that's the only thing that's understood by certain people. And, if you get told no enough, you start to listen, and that's what we need to tell him and his administration is, no, you can't shut us down. No, you can't do this to us. No, we are here, and you cannot do anything about it. And we need to do that. We need to stand up. We need to be out there. We need to be vocal. We need to be present. Living here in Ohio, it's a deep red state, and I'm out in the middle of nowhere. It's all farm country out here. But I go out, and I'm proud. I mean, my head's up, my shoulders are back, and you got something to say it. We'll deal with it right then and there. I'm not going to get physical, but I will put you in your place. And that's what it takes. It takes that boldness. It takes us stepping out and being seen so that we can permanently be seen. So, all right, guys, you take care. Love you. take care, and I will see you soon. Bye.